There are large anchors you can put around a tree. You can attach other anchors to a 4x4 post on the deck. You can use a light post, you can use a telephone pole. You know, pretty much wherever you are, if you can find a solid vertical object, you can use these bands. There are other ways to use the bands too. For example, if you want to do curls, you want to put a towel over the band to reduce friction because you want the bands to last, but you want to wrap it in a towel and you can stand on the band and you can do curls. So you can also do shoulder raises. So there are all kinds of different anchors. There's another really good anchor. It's a door anchor. So you can open up a door, stick it in on the hinge side right next to a hinge, and then close the door. So you can do them in a hotel room. I mean, pretty much anywhere where you are, there is a way to use these bands. And with the door, since they have 3 hinges usually, you get 3 different heights. So you can do exercises on different muscles, targeting in different areas. Okay, let's do one more set. Instead of this dirt spot, I'm going to pick the next piece of dirt here. Man, I can feel a lot of difference in the tension just moving that 1 extra foot out. So I'm going to try and do 10 of these. The mistake I made there is I should have let off with my right arm because I finished the last set with my left arm. All right, let's go back to that same spot. I'm going to set up an anchor overhead. Here's the anchor. There's neoprene inside these loops to protect the bands so that you don't have excessive friction. Make sure they're hanging even so you get the proper amount of resistance on each arm. That was the 23-pound band. Now let's move up to the 30-pound band. So the 30-pound band starts over double at 60 pounds because it is doubled over in half. And then it goes up from there as the weight increases, the more it's stretched. So it's a lot of force. By the time you start doing your triceps, That's, wow. That's every bit as much weight as if you had like a curling bar loaded up with weight doing skull crushers. Make sure they're still even. Let's add a little bit more. This is a 19-pound band. So we got 30 plus 19. So one short of 50. 49. So we'll just call it 50 pounds. Starting off double, so 100 pounds. And that 100 pounds actually increases more as you stretch the bands. So this is going to be a pretty tough exercise. That's what I mean. You typically think of bands are for old people or for out of shape people or for weak people. No, they're good for anybody. If you get the right bands, you do the right setups, you can get some pretty impressive weights on them. You should be able to see in the camera how much I was struggling with that. Like I said, it's actually a pretty impressive amount of weight. And you can take these things anywhere and you can do these exercises. And it's a really great way of having one of your exercise days be a much lower stress on the body, rather than wreaking havoc with your joints and causing other aches and pains and stuff. These actually give you recovery without sacrificing how hard you work the muscle. And the big part of it is all that momentum that you have with free weights is all gone. And it's much easier on the body. You also have, I'm going to say, a weight curve with these things. It's not a consistent weight through the whole range of motion. Let's take curls, for example. If your arm is straight down and locked out, you know, starting just in this portion here, you're very weak because all your tendons, ligaments, everything is straight. You have a big mechanical disadvantage. When your arm is already bent a little bit, you have a much greater mechanical advantage. So when you're using the bands, it fits the natural strength curve of your body. As you're down, the bands are more relaxed, so the weight decreases. And as you come up and you gain more strength, the bands get harder. So you do have that weight curve that follows how your body works. I'm trying to do most of this live without editing for the band workout part. Now, normally what I would do is take a couple different exercises and say take 3 different exercises and do a superset. So in other words, you take 3 exercises that use different muscles, different body parts or different muscles, and you work them in and you go in a loop. That way, once you're done with the 3rd set, the muscles for your 1st set have gotten enough rest that you can just go back and do them again. Maybe with 1 minute rest in between everything, you know, in between each set. And that's it, no more than that. And you just you go around for your whole set. So you can get a workout in a pretty short amount of time, which is also a plus. Now, one thing that I've never found out how to do effectively with bands is do something like squats or deadlifts. Yes, there are ankle straps. You can do other things. You can sit down in a chair. You can do, leg raises or leg curls. You can kind of fake some things, but you have to break it up and work each muscle separately, because you can't get enough weight. You can't, to do a squat or a deadlift. Plus, when you're doing a squat or a deadlift, those things really demand the weight and the momentum. It's, Now, one thing that you can do, you've seen people add chains onto squats or deadlifts. The idea with that is it's less weighted to start, and as you are standing up, you're picking up more chain, so therefore you're picking up more weight. So that is one way that they try and mimic some of this action in bands, because when you go down in the hole in the squat, that's where you're the weakest. At least that's where I'm the weakest, is all the way down at the very bottom, where you have to change directions and start coming back up. All right, let's do one more set of these triceps. That's going to be it for today. I'll be back probably on Thursday for deadlifts and for back.